Okay. So, uh, let us discuss this. I tried it last night, boondocking in my car, and so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. So, what I did was I brought some my cooler bag. Okay, and I had bag of ice, which this was full out of one tray of ice, and I brought the filter thing that I put water on it and then froze it in my little freezer in my little fridge in my office. And I put this bottle of water in the freezer, but it wasn't frozen. It was just really cold. Um, and that worked out fine. I did get a little sweat on the outside of the package because it was cold, but it wasn't leaking. So that was a good thing. 20K battery from Walmart. They're about 35 bucks. Actually, I got like 5 or 6 of them for like $5 each because they mismarked them on the Walmart app. And I went in there and bought like 2 or 3, and then I went back in and bought some more. And now they changed the price back, so it's like 35 bucks for this on 20K battery. And this is stout. It takes a while to charge it too. Um, and then it's got 2 ports here, so you can put stuff in it. So what I did was I ran my little battery fan from Walmart. It was $9.99. Plug that in there, and it's about that big of a fan. And it's also battery operated, but you can plug it in and run it on power. I found out recently. And then I plugged this one in, which is the USB-C that's connected to this Chillwell in there. 100% power. Right now I'm at 30% power. So I used both those all night, the little fan and that. And one of my Better Homes and Gardens big fan, it's like a 9 or 10-inch fan that's battery operated and will run on power, but I use it on the batteries, and I spend a lot of money on batteries. It takes like 6 or 8 size D batteries for that big fan, and they're usually about $30 fans, but I got one recently on sale for $14 like a week ago. Um, I've got one that I'm having problems with. I got to test it in my office and see if it'll run on the power, but I think it's burned up. I've had it like over a year. Um, so anyway, and the Better Homes and Gardens fans are really quiet, and so is that little office one. I haven't been able to find another one of those little office ones, and I gave one away to a boondocker that I felt sorry for. He's in a van, and he only had one of those little fans, and I felt sorry for him because the temperature was climbing so bad. I said, "Man, you die in the car at 105." And after you park a car, it's still hot, and it takes a long time for it to cool down, and it's like sleeping in a tin can. It's going to be 5 to 7 degrees hotter in the vehicle when you're boondocking. Um, it's just that way. Even when you crack windows and everything else, it's going to be that way. Fans will help cool it down because it keeps the air moving. Um, you can bring that temperature down, 2, 3, or 4 degrees with just fans alone. It really helps. Uh, but it's still terrible hot. But anyway, I put a bunch of ice on here. I filled it with water to probably about here with the icy water. And I had all this ice piled on here, and it was just smoking away because it was so hot in the air. And it was dripping in there and stuff, but I think the ice is a worthless measure. And then, I, had got the filter thing wet and then put it in the freezer. Now it's still wet. Okay, right now, which is cool. I was intrigued to see if that would dry out, but I guess not because it's blowing, it's shooting the water got 2 jets inside here. And I did a vlog yesterday about this thing. But there's 2 jets, the little eyeballs, they're jets. And it's got like a big giant computer fan in there, like you would see in a computer tower. So I run it with ice and icy water. Now, some of the things I don't like on it is it's got too bright of lights. Once it's charged, it has a stay on light over here that you can see through here. And the whole idea of boondocking is to be incognito. Okay, you don't get noisy, you don't wander all around the car. You know, you're incognito. And otherwise the police are gonna be banging on your windows. So when it's supposedly charging, its red light comes out of here. And so I was like putting a rag over that. And then when it finishes charging, it has like a green light. This will turn green or something. And so it comes through here and it like lights up the whole car. And then when a couple times I changed the fan speed because I tried it on turbo, which was entirely too loud in the car. I can't hear anything outside the car. And I got to be able to hear and see because you got to watch your vehicle, you know, for people creeping around. I've had them steal my gas cap, locking gas cap. I had a guy under my car recently. And so anyway, I was trying the different fans through the evening and then didn't get much sleep because I was playing with this for so long trying to figure it out. Had a USB plugged in and it's a USB-C. Okay. That's a cool thing because the Android ones, the connectors usually wear out. My little tiny black fan is an Android connector, but you can also use a magnetic charger, and that solves a lot of that problem too. Now, a boondocker friend of mine just glued the thing in, and because he says they break real easy, so he glued his in, and I was like, that's interesting. But the problem is if the cord goes bad, you have to throw the whole thing away, because you glued it in the machine. But I found that when I changed fan speed, okay, it's going to have lights on no matter what. I don't care what you do. When I had changed the fan speed, at one point, it turned the disco lights on, and it was like you got to go through 9 modes to get it to go off. So now you've got, the red light, the purple light, the yellow light, the green light, till you can get it to shut all that lighting off. But none of it all goes off. These little lights will run, and then there'll be some kind of light over here, whether it's charged or not charged, be red or green or something. And it's just too bright to be incognito in the car. So, it's just too bright. I mean, if you need to light it, like you're camping or something, but when you're boondocking, most places it's illegal. And 2, you don't want to be obvious because people will look in your car and stuff, and it's like, damn, so anyway, I don't like the light thing. Even when you turn it off, it's still got lights going. So, I took a towel, a dark towel. So it was too dark, I couldn't find a washcloth. Hey, and so I put a towel over it, leaving this up with the ice in it, which was kind of neat because it was keeping it cool so it would drain in there. And I put a towel around it, and honestly, I would take and black most all this stuff out, or at least here, like with black electrical tape or something in here, and probably the other side, to kill some of the lighting. That would be a real improvement. Putting ice in it's worthless. It's not even worth fooling with. When I worked over on JobStack with Avis, they just take these plastic bottles and put them in a freezer in the break room of bottled water, and they don't explode or anything. And then that's what everybody drinks. And they instantly start melting in the sun. So you can take this and put it in the freezer and then put it in one of these cold bags and use that to pour water in there, which will help. Although this is still going to get hot up here in the water part because it's running on the motor and everything. But as far as temperature drop, 0. No temperature drop. But I like the fact that it has battery backup because it says it takes 5 hours to charge it, but I don't know. Mine was basically charged when I got it. And I kind of think it's from that boondocker girl that was in the storages over there. I think they took all her stuff and donated it to where I went. And so she had 3 or 4 of things like this. And I know the guy that gave them to her. I can sell this right now on eBay used for 150 bucks. 150 bucks is just a little bit short of buying a tire for my car. I could get the one from Walmart for 40 bucks, but it doesn't have battery backup to it. So it's strictly electric, which is a problem because I don't have a Jackery power station in the car. I hesitated on spending 500 bucks for a Jackery because I figured $500 is towards a deposit to get a place to live. Why would I want to invest 500 bucks in putting power in the car when I don't want to live in it forever? You know what I mean? To me, it just seems like such a bad investment because what am I going to do with it after that? I am not a camping person. My idea of roughing it's a room at the Hilton. Oh my God. So living in my car is not the thing for me at all. I hate it. You know, so I don't know. But anyway, I mean, you can resell a Jackery used and still get good money. Anyway, as far as cooling, no, a big no. It will feel a little bit cool. You don't want to run it on turbo. It's just so darn loud in the car. At night, I can't hear what's going on outside if somebody's creeping around my car or doing something to my car. But if I turn the turbo part off, and it might have run better with turbo. I tried it for a short minute, but I didn't care for it. But I run this, it was either on the 2 or the 1. And it's fairly quiet. And I run it all night on this battery with my other fan. And I still have power left. Like I said before, I think it's like a 30. Yeah, it's got 30% balance of the power left after running the 2 units on this thing, which was cool. I was scared to run it on just its own battery because I didn't know if the battery was that good, of how many times it'd been used, because, you know, batteries wear out. So I wouldn't want to depend on that for all night because the temperature's so high right now. You know, last night it was like 89 in the car. So it's always 5 to 7 degrees hotter than the outside. So I didn't run it on battery power because I was afraid it'd shut off. And then I get too much temperature rise. So I have to, you know, watch the temperature every night. I have to watch to see if it's going to rain because there's certain windows that I opened, it will rain in the car. And that's a bad thing. I've had it rain in the car the past week and it smells like baby diapers right now. I went by the washateria today. I was going to wash all that stuff to get the stench out of it, even though it's dry now. Because in the day it's so hot, you know, it dries in the car while I'm at work. But I want to get that baby smell out. Ugh. But I didn't get a chance to do it. Money's kind of limited. And I need to get to work. I had a sale this morning and I've got to get that packed and shipped. But yeah, as far as temperature, it doesn't drop the temperature down at all. But I will say this, you know, what it really does is it's like a little humidifier. And even though I'm in tropical zone where, you know, people say, oh God, it's so humid in Florida, I hate that place. Well, I like it, especially next to the ocean. I love it. I love the salt water on my skin and my hair, everything. I I can breathe better and everything. And I have a terrible time breathing. I have asthma really, really bad. And I have a machine for asthma with the asthma cartridges and all that. And I was really scared when, I got that 5-day sheriff's order. I said, God, what am I going to do? And I had like 2 big boxes of cartridges to run on that machine so I can breathe. And I have no way to power it in the car. And they expired like 2 weeks after I moved out of that house. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I have a terrible, terrible, terrible time breathing. I cough. My lungs, I can't hardly breathe at all. And they're so hung up. It's like having pneumonia 24 hours a day. And so I will tell you this, because I had stated in my other vlog yesterday about, well, the good thing about it is it's kind of like a swamp cooler, like a humidifier, because it's literally shooting water out. And yeah, that'll kind of feel cooler. I was worried about it getting everything wet in the car, and it doesn't. It really doesn't. I put a dryer uh, fabric thing under it to make sure that it wasn't just going to drain water all over the car, and it didn't. When I got up this morning, there was a lot of water droplets all over the vents. But that's because it was, continually shooting water all night long. So there was droplets all over the vents like it had been rained on. The neat thing about the unit is there's no electric in the bottom. Because, see, I thought, well, if you put it in a tray, a little short tray, a shallow tray, and then put, one of those dishwashing, evaporating rag things you buy at Walmart for $5 to $10. You can fold it up and set it under it and put it in a tray. That way you wouldn't have water leaking all over the car. Because the one they had run for 8 hours over at that store yesterday was draining down the shelves and down into the floor. And they were like, we're going to put that one in our office, because I went back to try to buy it after I bought this one for $2. And they would not sell it to me. Oh, we're going to put it in the office, but that'll last about a week because it's going to drip all over everything. And it's not an air conditioner in any way. But it's excellent for me so I can breathe. Big difference. And I think if I use it on a regular basis, it would be great for my skin and my hair, because I get all dried out, baking in the car, sleeping in it. It's horrible. And especially if you don't get to take a bath every day, because some spots I can't, because like Planet Fitness is not open 24 hours. It closes early 3 days of the week, like really early, and I'm at work. So it's good for me, for my skin and my hair. I would say 100% ideal. It's really good for me to breathe. As a matter of fact, I'm still spitting up stuff out of my lungs. And I firmly believe it's because I run that machine last night. And when I got up this morning, this is all the water that was left in it. I didn't fill it to the top because I didn't know how far you could go up with it because of electrical and all that. So I had it filled to like here when I started. I only got about 6 hours sleep, actually. But they say it takes 5 hours to charge it. They say it'll run 10 hours, if the battery's good. 10 hours on low. And then it'll run like 4 hours if you run it all on high and turbo and all that. And the biggest thing is watching that temperature in that car. And once it gets after like 3 in the morning, then it starts heating up. When you hit 6, 7, 8, that's really an incredible factor of heat. I mean, you can go from 7 to 8 in the morning, and it could be, 78 degrees at 7 a.m. in the car now. Remember, it's 5 to 7 degrees hotter in the car than it is outside. So if you're 77 in the car at 7 a.m., when you hit 8, generally right now this time of year, it's going to go 90, 92 degrees by 8 a.m. So you can't sleep too late, you know what I mean? So I will tell you, I mean, I've been spitting up gook out of my lungs all morning since I got up, and I can breathe more, you know, better and better. So I'm a fan of this for that because it's like a humidifier, swamp cooler kind of thing. But and it feels okay. It's a light breeze. Um, it feels okay, but it's great to sleep with. I'm 100% with it, and I like because it has standalone battery power. That's 100% plus. And I'll do a vlog today about this unit, the Chillwell, and the Arctic Air, and another one called EcoFlow. Um, but you know, all in all, I'm better off with a bunch of battery operated fans at this point because I don't have a Jackery. Because they will bring the temperature down. Oddly enough, they will bring the temperature down 2, 3, 4 degrees if you're running enough of those fans. And of course, in the car, I don't have a way to battery it through the car. Okay. And I recently, just a few months back, bought a gold battery from Walmart, which is the best battery you can get. It's way over $100, and it's the greatest investment you ever make. And after you keep charging stuff on the car and stuff, it run your car battery down too. That's what my boondocker friend did on his van. He was running that little tiny fan plugged into the van all night long, and it finally destroyed his car battery. And he's just like marooned out there. He's still out there. I don't even know if he's worked one day. Um, but I haven't talked to him because he's very problematic. So I've kind of stayed away from him when I see him around. Um, and so, you know, I can't run any power, standalone power, when the car's off, unless I wire something in. So I like the fact that it has its own battery system in it. So if I, want to run it on its battery, I can do that. And as long as the battery's still good, it will run on 10 hours on low. But I've got to check it to make sure it'll do that. Like sit it in my office and see if it'll run for however many hours on low and see what it does. But I would definitely run it with the water in it anytime I'm using it. Um, and they say you have to replace these filter things, and they're real expensive. They're like $30 on this particular unit. But and it's still wet from last night. But I mean, I guess you could soak it in soapy water. Would probably be a good game plan, other than buying a new one. Because you're bringing the hot air in from the back of this unit. Okay. You bring the hot air in from the back, and it's coming through the front, so that's dirt and stuff coming through the right, and so it'll pick up in that little thing. But putting ice in there is worthless. I think ice water is a plus. It's okay. I think it's still going to heat up inside of here. But I like it. I probably wouldn't mind having another one. But I could also sell it for $150 right now used on eBay. They're selling hand over fist. So I'll do that other review today. On those other units versus this, and because I found out some pretty interesting stuff. But I mean, if I don't sell it, I'm gonna just keep using it for now, to add moisture in the air and clean my lungs and help me breathe, because I can breathe so much easier when I'm sleeping. It is horrible, and if the heat's a lot of it, it'll just choke you where you can't hardly breathe. But it cleans my lungs out. So I'm 100% fan of that right there. Which is probably because I'm getting dehydrated, because it's so hot. I mean, it's like being baked in the oven when you're in the car. It's hot. It's not good. So, but yeah, it doesn't drop any temperature down. That's bull. It just doesn't do it. I've checked all night long on my thermometers in the car, and it doesn't do that. But it adds moisture to the air, and it's a little bit of a fan. You don't want to run it on anything more than like the low or the medium because it's too loud for you to be able to hear stuff around the car. So my other fans are actually quieter than this, because I researched them before I bought them and then tried them and I like them. So, normally I run this year because it's so hot. I'll run 3 big fans and the one I had the 2 little fans and I gave one away to help somebody. So normally I would run 5 fans in the car. But then I was down to 4, and now I got one that's broke, but I managed to get another one on sale. Plus I have this. So last night I run that, one big fan, and my little fan, had the little fan on like high to medium, and then the big fan on low, and this on low to medium. Um, and I feel so much better this morning. So yeah, that's a good thing. What would be neat if I make it the tire? I know. I need like 3 like that. But no, it's real good. It's just like a swamp cooler, Swamp cooler is not really air conditioner; it just adds water to the air. And I had swamp cooler in my cocktail lounge. Loved it. Excellent, excellent. Um, I mean, I would do it again too. Love a swamp cooler. It's so much more refreshing than air conditioning. Um, and I think that's what they call a swamp cooler. I think it's what the military uses. Um, they're ideal. It's just cooling with water. And there's an air conditioning system that does it. I think it's a train. I think the train is the one that runs water in their air conditioning systems. And man, it just cool the place down instantly. But you got to have water pumping to run it. So if your water goes out, you can't run your air conditioning in your house. So, but in that unit we had on my shop at the Florida state line was a $5,000 unit. So and it, oh man, it was huge, and it really cooled that house down. Um, so yeah, I mean, I like it for its battery capability, and then I mean, unless I had a Jackery, then I would just buy that Arctic Air thing from Walmart and run it on a Jackery, because it's $40, and that would be sufficient. Because, like I say, I bought this for $2, and this is $150 used on eBay right now today if I sell it, and they're selling like hotcakes, hand over fist. Um, because the Chillwell website says it's 189, not counting shipping and tax, and so that's big money. Um, so I would say it's a better unit than the Arctic Air because it has the battery, standalone battery power. Plus, it has a carry handle, which that's handy when you want to put a towel over to cover the disco lights up. Because they went off on me 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night when I went to adjust the fan speed, and I was mad as heck because it's like lighting the whole car up because I got to go through like 9 modes to get the lights to stop. And it's like, I could just imagine people going, what is all the lights in that car over there that's parked? It's like the disco scene. Too much lighting. Um, but I like it. I do like it. I mean, it's good because, it's only like 1 foot, 2 foot from you. So it's going to feel cold because the moisture that it's shooting with those jets. So, yeah. So, I mean, like right here, right now, it feels real nice on low. It's on low fan. Let's see, that's something I should have paid attention to, is a sprayer. I think this is the water sprayer right here. See this? Yeah, I think that's a water sprayer, look. Yeah, that is. So if you turn the water sprayer on the two, it really shoots out a lot. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see the smoke coming out of it. And then this is the one. So I imagine if I would have had made sure this was on, it might not even been on really last night. But, and then there's your fan speed. So see, when you change it around, it's a freaking nightmare with the damn disco lights. It turns those on. So if you turn the shooter up, okay, make your fan speed first, then turn your shooter up for your water. And you probably can't even see it, but it's like two steady streams of what looks like smoke, but it's water. But I'm 100% for it, man. I love it. I'm telling you. Well, you know, the problem is, yeah, it doesn't totally shut the lights off. So you have to take like black electrical tape, put here and here to get a majority of it blocked out, so it's not so bright in the car. Because, you know, when you're boondocking, you're supposed to be invisible, you know what I mean? It's illegal in most places, so, you know, you don't want to be obvious to where the sheriffs are going to come bang on the windows in the middle of the night and ask you what you're doing. And places where I go, there's a lot of boondockers. So, I mean, you know, but it's not like if the man knocks on the window, you can't exactly go, well, everybody else is doing it too. You know what I mean? That doesn't do any good. But, yeah. So, I'll try it tonight. Make sure this is on 2. And I'll run this fan on the 2 or the 1. I'm going to put some electric tape here, black electric tape here. And on this side, which will kill 90% of that lighting out, because it still stays lit, because these things have lights on them, and so does this plug. This won't reach my charge thing, but this plug thing still stays lit. It's either going to be red or it'll be like green or something, and it lights up through this whole thing, and I don't like all that light. It's too obvious, you know. Plus, I don't want to be lit up back there, you know, in that car. But I like it. Do I think it's worth $150? No. I think it's worth $189 plus shipping plus tax? No. But the only plus is that it has its own battery power, where, like right now, it's running by itself. It's not plugged in. So, that's where I'm at. Was it worth $2? Hell yeah. That's all I paid was $2 at this store yesterday. I'm still going to try to go back and get the other one, because when they figure out it's not an air conditioner, and definitely not like, you know, like a room size air conditioner or anything like that, any more than that Arctic areas. They're not going to air condition your house, I promise you. I was just hoping, because of the small square footage of being inside a car, that it might help. But no, it doesn't lower the temperature, but it's excellent for my breathing. Oh yeah, you don't want to be attracting anybody. I mean, you know, people get out of their cars, they'll think there's a little kid back there. And then they're going to call the sheriffs and go, I think there's a kid in the back of that car. You know, people get wigged out when they don't know what it's like to be homeless. You know, I mean, I've had people say really mean stuff to me, you know, in parking lots, strangers. You know, when I've, you know, sometimes I would go to reorganize my bed, open the trunk, put some things away, whatever. And people would be going, you live in your car? When they're walking by. you know, in a parking lot, you know. And it's like, yeah, I was illegally evicted during the pandemic and I paid rent. Okay, they gave me 5 days to move. I had a real nice house with a pool. So, you know, people are very mean. When it happens to you, then come to me and tell me how you feel about it, because it's not a good life. It really isn't, and the only one can fix it is me. So, you know, unless some millionaire comes along and drops $1 million on me and doesn't want anything in exchange, you know. Otherwise, I got to keep working 7 days a week and nights a week too to try to get out of this mess. And now that everything's like doubled and tripled in rents, especially in the area that I'm in, it's like you're talking 2,000 a bedroom just to rent something. That's bottom line. That's huge money. I was paying $1,000 a month for the 2-story house, 2 bedroom, with a pool and 1, 2, 3 patios. Um, yeah, and walking distance across the street from a mall, and really nice area. My car was safe. We were safe. Everything was really nice. But I was paying $1,000 a month just for that in rent. That's not counting all the utilities and stuff, which the utilities are very reasonable in that area compared to the area we lived before out of the base. Those utilities were 2 and 3 times the price. And this is a bigger house than the one out of the base, even. And it was like, you know how many times we sat there and I was like, God, I wish this place for this kind of money would have come with a pool. And then we got this other one that came with a very nice pool, really well kept. The guy was there like every day working on the pool in the middle of the night. It really nicely done. So, but yeah, it wasn't 100% greatest place in the world to live, but it was okay. Hey, there's Jeffrey. What are you doing? Good to see you, my friend. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't drop the temperature in the car at all, but it's great for my breathing. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys notice. I get this girl that comes on occasion, bad mouthing me on my vlogs, and going, man, you need to fix that because you smoke and did. I have asthma really, really bad, and because I live in my car, I cannot run my breathing machine, and I had to go back to a doctor because the 2 boxes of all the, my daughter and I both had to use it. And that was the first thing I thought of when I'm like, God, I'm going to be forced to live with my car. What am I going to do? Because I have no way to run that machine to breathe. So, you know, after, you know, a couple weeks after I was put on the street illegally in 5 days, that medicine all expired and I'd have to go to another doctor and have them prescribe again. They give you like 3 or 4 big boxes. I don't know, 6 boxes prescription. I still had some left on the prescription, but the prescription's now expired. I couldn't afford to go back and get the rest. I only got a few boxes the first time. And it has like, I think like 30 units in a box or something. But I've had so much trouble breathing. And this really helped me. I mean, my lungs, I've been coughing up gook out of my lungs. A little bit. I'm working on a roof today. Oh, I've done that before. That's right. Even all by myself when I had my big house out by Memphis. Yeah, I know. I walked through the roof on the back house. Yeah, I mean, this would be good for somebody who has like menopause, probably. You know, I don't know, but it would be probably good for somebody like that if they get like overheated at their table or desk. But because it makes you feel cooler because of the moisture coming out. But you have to be right up next to it, you see. If my last one were Bezos, I'd be more helpful. I don't know you, but I wonder about your well-being. Well, thank you so much. I'm just like anybody else. It's just an unfortunate situation. And I'm busting my bazungas to try to get out of this. My eBay's picking up a little bit here and there. It's unfortunate. And my Etsy was shut down, but that was a sabotage deal. Just like with my commercial account on TikTok. Sabotage. And I know who's done it. So anyway, yeah. See, there's little moisture droplets. You see them? Do you see those little drops in there? See them? It'll do that because it's shooting that water out all the time. So that's why it gives you the, you imagine it's leaking, but it's not. It's just that water. So I didn't have trouble with water flooding in the car or anything like that. I was concerned because I needed to have this plugged into this battery. Right now it's running solo. But I put this on another area of the car, the battery plugged into the other fan. So, because I thought, God, it's just going to electrocute itself if it ends up in a puddle of water. But it didn't do that. But the ice is bullcrap. That's a waste of effort and time. Yeah, thank you. Well, it's every night is the big problem. The problem is getting through August. July and August are the worst months of the year. And when it hits 105, you can bet I'm brain damaged and dead. And right now, most of the time, the inside of the car is about 90. Past few days, it's been like 84, 81 and 84 inside the car. But that's what I'm really scared of is for August. And yeah, if I had a Jackery, then I just plug all my fans in because my battery fans also have plug-ins. I could just plug them all into that Jackery and I'd be okay running 3 or 4 fans. And I would save a ton of money on batteries because batteries cost me. I got to buy batteries every day. So it's expensive. But, and then we'll go into the winter where it's freezing to death and it just gets absolutely horrible. And it's like one or the other. You're either going to die from the heat or you're going to have a stroke and freeze to death because you get too cold. And I've been to that point where like stuff stops working and stuff in the cold. It's really scary. So anyway, that's my review. And I was really wanting to let you guys know just as soon as I got back to work over here and do this live vlog so I could let you guys know how it went. Because I was concerned to see if it really did cool anything down. And no, it didn't. But everything else I thought it would do would be great. And it's great. It's great on your skin, great for your hair. Because you get dried out being in a hot car. And really excellent for my breathing. Oh my gosh. When I laid down and I had to stand about a foot away from my face, it was so nice. I could breathe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. I could not believe how much better I could breathe having that moisture in the air. So it's like a little humidifier. I mean, I'd definitely use it again. I mean, I'd rather sell it when I can get $150 plus shipping all day long because it's used. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and use it again tonight. And I'm going to make sure that I have that the shooter thing on the double. That's what I need to do. I need to have that on the double. Like it is right now. I'm going to go ahead and black these out with just some electrical tape so it won't be permanent. And do that, God, it almost looks like it has a little crack right here on this one. See how those disco lights, when you adjust that, all that bullshit comes back on. I can't stand all that damn disco light stuff. It just lights the car up. And look, you have to go through all these modes to kill that. Boom, boom, boom. I set that sucker off 3 or 4 times last night. It's ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, because it cost me $2 and not $180-something. It suits my use because it's battery operated 100%. That's the best feature of all for boondocking, is because it has battery power to it. But again, I have to test it, see how long it'll run on battery power, because I'm not going to depend on it in the car, because it could take my life, if I lose a fan in the middle of the night. It's not a good thing. So there we have it. So yeah, if you get one like this or Arctic Air or any of that, The ice thing is bullcrap. That's a worthless effort. Just take some of these water bottles, freeze them in the freezer. That's good enough. And then keep them in a cooler bag, and you can use them as you go along. Otherwise, just use plain water and pour it in there. But I like it. I like it so I can breathe. Um, it has helped me so much. And if I could get all that goog out of my lungs, I would be set. Because it's just, I get so tired because I can't hardly breathe. I was going to roller skate the other day to go down and take my shipments out to the post office. And I was like, man, I can't hardly breathe. I wonder if I could even do this. you know? I still got to find my brand new knee pads. They're somewhere here in this office. Because I absolutely got to have those. In case I fall. But it would be nice if I could just skate on over to the post office. I used to skate all over cities upon cities back home in California all the time. People always saw me on skates. I used to skate to work, man. Just wear a backpack, got all your stuff, you change your clothes, whatever. And if you're just skating around, keep a pair of sandals in the back. Because they don't like you going in places with skates on. And you just change outside the store and throw your shoes on and stick your skates in the back. In your backpack and go in and do your shopping. And they won't bother you. But yeah, so anyway, I just thought I'd let you guys know how it's going on that. I mean, yeah, if I had a wish, I'd have a Jackery 500, and a lot of my problems would be solved boondocking the car for sure. But I mean, again, that's some more money that I don't have. But because I'm telling you, Jackery and 3 or 4 powered fans plugged into the Jackery would be the way to fly, being in a hot car. And you might even be able to run a small heater in the car with the Jackery. I don't know. I'd have to look at the ratings. I know I can run my buffer on a Jackery 500, my car buffer. But anyway, there it is. So I hope you guys, yeah, it's helping me so much. I'm still coughing up goog, and I know it's from using this machine. I am so glad because I'm out of my medicine for my asthma machine, and I have no way to power it in my car. I could power it in my office, but now I don't have any medicine for it because you have to put these cartridges in and then breathe it, So, see the little water droplets come out? It's shooting that water out of it. So, there you have it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be good, like, if you're like in your office and you just want what feels like cold air blowing on you a little bit, but it's not going to air condition the room. It's just make you feel like you have fresh air coming, like you're sitting at the ocean or something, probably. That's probably a better way to describe it. Yeah, I'll be real glad when I don't have to sleep in the damn car anymore either. It's 2 different things when you're traveling around and you stay at a truck stop or something in between cities and states, than to where you're forced to be living in the car. It's the most depressing, horrible thing. It is a horrible, terrible life. Pee in a cup and pee in your bed on accident and get rained on in the middle of the night. People creeping around your car. One of the biggest things is guys pull up to my car and get out of their car and whip their weenie out right by the window and pee. It's like, really? Or you get the partiers that pull up next to you, or you get the people pull up right in front of you with the brights running for like an hour and a half, and you feel like it's the freaking cops or something, And it's like they're sitting there texting away. I mean, there's just so much cuckoo stuff. But the biggest thing is people peeing next to the car. It's like, dude, really? I did a YouTube video of a guy peeing right next to my car. Yeah, like 4 a.m. Of all places. And a lot of times it'll be like there's stores open and stuff and gas stations open 24 hours in Florida. And, Walmart's not open 24 hours, but there's a lot of places, that are open 24 hours. There's lots of gas stations for sure that are open 24 hours. And these jokers won't go across the street or 1 block down. They just decide they're going to pull off wherever you're at and park right next to your car and get out and just start peeing, you know, for like 5 minutes. Or they pull up next to your car to smoke weed or crack or something. And it's like, man, you know? And it's not like you can get out and go, hey, man, get out of here. Because then you don't know if they're going to pull a gun on you and kill you. So, yeah, it's a very scary life. It's a horrible life. From people stealing my gas, locking gas caps, to crawling under my car while I'm in it. Just crazy crap. People backing up into the car, people slinging their doors on the car day and night. I mean, it's just, my car's taking a beating in the parking lots, I'm telling you. It is horrible. So, such is life. But hopefully, that'll be over soon. And I'll get some money seriously rolling. Get a lot of the stock sold so that I can relocate. Don't want to see somebody, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't even know I'm living in the car. And then I've lost a lot of my friends over a situation that's a bunch of lies, which I will go over that in another 30 days on YouTube, so you know about that. That was not a good thing, and it's lasted just about a year. But anyway, but it's all right. I'm getting ready to take some people to court pretty quick here. Yep, change bat, ching. Pay me. But yeah, so you never know. But this helps a lot of people that are boondocking and in nomad life to know these things. And like I say later, I'm gonna do a vlog about the EcoFlow, the Chillwell, and the Arctic Air, and tell you the different variables with those items and if they really work or whatever. And then what, you know, my greatest option would be. Problem is, I hate investing in the nomad life, buying lots of extra stuff, because once I'm out of the car, I'm done. And even if I'm traveling on the road dressing entertainers, you know, which I could go back to that when if the gas will keep dropping, I can go back to work on the road. I'm ready to go back to work. The pandemic, a lot of that settled down now. And that's what took me out of work for my big money. Because I normally make $100 an hour overall yearly rate. So, for every hour worked. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like poor as a bone. That's what the pandemic did to my business. And I'm selling it for pennies on the dollar on the internet. And can't hardly get it sold. Marking it down every day. It's just, I choke. I just choke. But, you know, if I could get $1 for every item I own, I would have many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Probably 400K and up right now if I got $1 for everything I own in retail stock that needs to be sold. That's right. But it takes a lot of time to list, and I do that every day. And it costs me money, too. 35 cents an ad. But anyway, I got a sale this morning. I need to pack that piece of jewelry up and get a tracking number on that, and so that can get to the customer. I have to run it down to the post, and I'm gonna have to do a couple errands, some more today. I did several this morning on the way to work, but I gotta get to work. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I just wanted to let you know if we were good, bad, or indifferent on this, but I'm okay with it. And I will use it again this evening, making sure that the sprayer's on the double mode, along with the fan thing, and see how it goes from there. And I'll let you know. And then if I get time, I'll do that other vlog of the comparison of the 3 EcoFlow, the Chillwell, and the Arctic Air from Walmart for $40. All right. I love you guys. You have a really super Sunday, okay? And I hope you have a very blessed and profitable day today. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me.